this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the beautiful new Wentworth die from the John Next Door collection to make a card similar to this. And this is using just a few of the layers within the beautiful Wentworth die set. So I'll bring the die set in, and what you're getting in this is a big 6-inch die set, which is broken down into individual parts, which is absolutely perfect for using together to mat and layer, or to use separately in different sections. So you get the outside, which simply cuts these 4 inset corners into the piece. You get the circle, which will cut you obviously a perfect circle, but will also cut out the beautiful sort of wreath type ring that we have here. You also have a separate inside line for that circle, which again will cut a circle or make you a perfect wreath. You have this section which cuts you the detail into that circle and cuts you a beautiful square from the middle. You then have the square center section, which repeats some of these beautiful curls, and a little circle for the center just to balance it out. So really simple to use, but can be used separately or together to make beautiful cards and projects. So we're going to start by using the outside. So I've cut a piece of coconut white essential card here to 6.5 inches to give me a little bit of a background. And I'm simply going to evenly place down the die. And you see here, because it's 6 inches, I get a beautiful 1/2 inch all the way around. So I put that down, I will take that down and we'll run that through the machine, and that will just give us the 4 corners. So if I bring in that piece already cut, you can see here, get these beautiful 4 corners all the way around, which is a perfect frame for any of your stamping or any of your other projects that you do. Would make beautiful with flowers just in the center, so it can be used on its own. But on this occasion, I'm going to adhere this to some of the new Craft Artist Wisteria Essential card. So this is a new colour in our Essential card range, and I've just used a little bit of spray glue just to glue it down. The best way to do this is turn it over to the back, and I've cut this square to 6.25 inches. And that means I can see through and make sure that there's no overlap, which makes it a lot easier to put together, but also that the colour shows perfectly through all of these. You could put gems and pearls and all sorts in those corners. So that's our back panel. Next, we need to cut ourselves a white circle. So using the largest die, we would simply cut the white circle out using the largest circle die, and then we're going to place on the detail. So I put that on and just tape that down, and we will run that through. And you have the option at this point, of course, of adding the center circle in if you want to make it a sort of wreath as opposed to a circle. So we run that through and we cut that, which gives us the beautiful swirled circle with all these little points coming from it. I just think this is beautiful. So to put this card together, we will use the plain circle die again, and we just simply cut a circle out, and this is from the Essential Basic Grey Craft Artist card, and this just offsets that beautiful wisteria and white. And again, a little bit of spray glue, and we attach the circle on perfectly. So we have there an absolute perfect circle. So next we want to cut the smaller circle, because there is a smaller one than this, with the circle together. And again, we will put those on the coconut white card and cut that out, and that will give us this beautiful panel here. And again, we will cut through using just the outside circle from the wisteria, a plain circle. And again, I'm going to spray glue that on top. So I'm just going to match that up and spray glue it on, and I'm going to cut the next piece to show you how this works. We're going to take the square panel and simply drop it in to there. We take a little bit of tape and we tape that down, making sure it's securely taped down, because this square doesn't cut out, it simply cuts in. So we simply add that to our machine on our plates, and we will run that through our die cutting machine. So I'm just running that through. While that runs through, I've also taken the final die in the set, just a little circle, and I've cut that out just using the basic grey again. And the reason is so that all of the colours balance. So we have our panel, we have our circle, we have our little circle, and then we have our centre panel. So here's the centre panel come out. So we just click our die out and just release all of the little pieces that are in there. And you'll see here that this almost floats within that circle. It's just something a little bit different and works extremely well. So we're just taking those little bits out. Always takes that little bit longer than you expect it to, but there we go. Clear those. We've got all our little pieces out, so now I'm simply going to turn that over and I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape. So I'm just going to put foam tape around all 4 of these sort of almost corners, circle corners, simply like that. And just to make sure it's well supported, take a little piece and pop that into the center. So we're going to bring in our circle and we're going to reveal our foam tape. So simply taking off the little plastic backing off all of it. It's a lot easier if you've got good nails, or use a pokey tool to get that off. And you want to match the pattern, so we want to get this sort of circle, or there's one, they're all over, but it just makes sure it's nice and even. And I'm going to put the point to the point of dot, 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 dot. So it's designed to make it simple and easy for you. We're simply then going to pop our basic grey in. So we go white, wisteria, grey. I'm going to take a little bit more foam tape. And remember the trick, if you remove the covering from the foam tape, it means that you can work the tape around the circle, which just gives you a far neater look from the side than you would get from using strips. So we take that around like that and we'll reveal that one. I never leave foam tape without the tape off. And again, we match up the center points to there. Really simple. We take that off. And again, we add a little bit of foam tape for depth and dimension. As I say on every video, I only use 2mm foam tape so that it's not too deep. It just adds a little bit of dimension without going too far. So we pop that in. There we go. Really simple. And again, we reveal that. And what I've done is made a card blank, which is 7.5. Sorry, which is 8 by 8. I got that wrong. So it's 8 by 8, and I've put mats and layers on at 7.5 inches of the basic grey, the white, and the wisteria. And we place that on just so we get that beautiful frame. And we could have a sentiment banner running across there. We could leave the center open and not put that one on. And all we would do then is to take, I'm using here the magnolia, or the marigold I should say. So this the marigold leaves and the marigold flowers, and I've simply cut these again in the wisteria, and I've just edged them with a little bit of the grape Craft Artist Fusion sprays. So we'll put a little collection there, and we'll just perhaps have 1, 2, 3 flowers in there. So very simple, very easy. We'll move that to one side. And here I've done them in white, and I've used the same grape colour Fusion ink on the edges of the leaves and on the flowers, and 2 different versions, just alternating the colour of the flowers to show the beautiful things you can achieve with the Wentworth die set.